man, how many times have you heard that UEFA Champions League anthem? And for football fans, it is the very top. It is the pinnacle because club football is centered around this baby here, the UEFA Champions League Trophy. Every single footballer in the world plays their football to win this. This is the peak, the zenith of your career as a footballer. And there's great footballers actually who've retired never having held this. And tell you what, I'm going to get the chance, along with my colleagues here in studio, of course, to lift it. There's only one South African in the history of this competition who has ever lifted this trophy as a winner. And just before we went on air, I was looking at the names engraved on the trophy here, the names of the clubs who've won it. And I was looking for that 2004. There it is, that side. Benny McCarthy is the only South African who has won this particular trophy. And that was in 2004 with FC Porto, coached by the one and only, the special one, Jose Mourinho. I'm joined in studio by the head of communications at SuperSport. That's Clinton van der Berg. Clinton, thank you so much for your time. Thank you for bringing this. You can see I'm clearly a fan. I have been saying the clan names of the UEFA Champions League. And it's huge. I actually did not imagine it being this huge.
Good morning. She's very special. I must say she's beautiful. No question about it. She's huge. She's 11 kilos.
Yeah.
Which is solid, and 74 centimeters. So when you're lifting that trophy, if you're lucky enough to, it must be very, very special.
Yeah. Whew. I feel like I didn't have to play football. I'm going to be getting a chance to lift this a little bit later. But why is the trophy here? Why is it in South Africa?
Well, of course, we all know about the majesty of the UEFA Champions League. It's a big Champions League week. Last night there was a terrific game at Anfield between Liverpool and
fantastic game.
Crazy game. And
depending on what color your shades are.
Quite right. The champions Real Madrid. And they played like champions. They looked like champions. You saw, of course, Vinicius, who's just one of the coming players, who's terrific. Benzema came to the party as well. You had two goalkeeping howlers. And I think that's linked to Champions League, is the drama through the years. It never fails to excite. It's amazing. And, of course, you have second legs and what have you. So it's just building up a really nice heat. So UEFA very kindly sent it down here for SuperSport to help market it about what we have to offer. And it's very exciting because what it does is it connects with the fans, it excites the fans. And, that's what football lovers absolutely enjoy, is the heat of the contest, the thrill of the action.
If you missed the action last night, we did say Real Madrid coming from 2 goals down, showing exactly why they are 14-time champions of the UEFA Champions League and coming to beat Liverpool at Anfield by 5 goals. 5 goals to 2. If you slept early, you would have, believed that Liverpool, like Michelle Craig confessed earlier, that Liverpool maybe won that game. That was not the case. This morning you were shocked by Newzroom Afrika's headlines. And today we'll obviously be seeing other important games. Manchester City playing RB Leipzig, and there's Inter, also a former champion. In fact, 2 of Mourinho's former winning teams, Inter and Porto, also coming together tonight. Do you find, as a broadcaster, as SuperSport, how important is it that Real Madrid stays in this competition? Because as 14-time winners, they seem to be the Champions League team, don't they?
Well, super club, aren't they? If you think that a great player like Cristiano Ronaldo, to some the greatest, he won 4 with Real, another with Man United, and they just steeped in history. And it's extraordinary because you go back about 50 years, and they once won it 5 years in a row. Yeah. No one's come close to doing that. So they're very special. They bring tradition, they bring history, and of course they bring excellence, as we saw.
They bring it, almost every time. And I heard some of my colleagues already saying, listen, it's Real Madrid's year again. And beating Liverpool. Liverpool is not just anyone in the Champions League, by the way. One of the teams that have won it the most times. In fact, only AC Milan on 7 occasions and Real Madrid have won it on more occasions than Liverpool have, which is on 6 occasions. But I suspect, I mean, we won't be seeing Liverpool winning the Champions League this season, Clinton, will we?
Listen, I'm not going to put my head on the block. Football is so unpredictable. You might remember a couple of years ago, they were involved in one of the great comebacks. And had you been a betting man, you would have probably lost a lot of money. So I think it's very dangerous to write top teams off.
And incidentally, one of the greatest comebacks in Champions League history was by Liverpool in 2005, and it was in Istanbul. And the Champions League final is going to Istanbul again this season. And this one is a very sensitive topic then, Clinton, because you guys are also running a competition for fans to be able to go to the Champions League final in Istanbul. How's that plan at the moment because of what's happening obviously in that part of the world?
Yes, well, of course, it's down there in June for the final, and it's really exciting. But, of course, if you're living in Turkey, they're going through a terrible time at the moment. UEFA obviously will keep a close eye on things. But I don't think, the venue may or may not change. Certainly the date won't. And we all hope for the sake of the people in Istanbul. For instance, Banyana are in Turkey at the moment. So we hope for the sake of people that things, in fact, carry on there. And they're able to host the final. And then separately, there's a chance to win 4 double tickets if you subscribe to SuperSport or reconnect from March the 10th to 21 April. And that's really to get the buzz going and to keep the buzz going and the excitement and fervour around UEFA Champions League.
So that means 8 tickets.
That's right. 4 couples. And I guess it doesn't have to be you and your wife. It can be you and a mate.
So it can be myself, Michelle Craig, and Anyati, and a few of our colleagues as well. We can be heading to Istanbul to the Champions League final this year.
Only if you're lucky.
Okay, what do I need to do there to be lucky?
All you have to do is subscribe to SuperSport or reconnect. It's really quite simple, and then you become an automatic entrant. And then there is a system whereby it will produce 4 names to win, each one a pair of tickets to the final, which I expect will be very special.
Mm-hmm. Okay, is there any viewing anything that's happening in particular this evening, maybe for the because we did say that it coincides with the round of 16 of the Champions League, which started last week, but it's continuing. The game started last night, and there's a couple of big ones also tonight. Is there anything special organized for that?
Of course, we have a full broadcast. Closer to the time, we might arrange something like a public viewing, which traditionally, and we do it with domestic football as well, we do it with international football, which proves to be very popular. And I think that's the tribal nature of football, is fans love to come together, share banter, and then enjoy their team's performance, and even opposing teams as well. That's quite good, and it is something we might look at closer towards the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Clinton, do you find that the Champions League or European football has grown in the country significantly since the days, maybe the mid-2000s, maybe? Is there a better viewing of the product? Do viewers consume it better than local football at the moment?
Well, let me answer that in 2 ways. So I've been lucky enough to have this trophy for 2 days. The way people engage with this trophy, they just lose their heads. It's unbelievable. Everybody wants a picture with it. They want to touch it. They want to see it, all those things. So I think that tells its own story about the popularity of football, particularly European football. But then, I can walk through this building and chat to anybody, and everybody will have a team, and they'll talk about it. They'll be excited, those kind of things. And it never used to be to that level, is my understanding. And certainly the ratings bear that out. European football is a popular staple. People love it. They really do. The English Premiership is enormous, as you might imagine. So is La Liga, does very well for us. And then it all comes together with something like the Champions League, which plays out across a couple of months. So while you have your individual national leagues, and they're enormously popular, when you throw them all in the pot for the Champions League, it takes it to another level.
Yeah. Clinton, I'm gonna do something. I think I need latex gloves, right?
I have some gloves.
Okay. I need to have my moment with the UEFA Champions League Trophy. So as we wrap it up, I'm gonna thank you so much for being here and giving us the opportunity to have our moment with the UEFA Champions League Trophy. Certainly myself, I'm a very big fan. I am starstruck at the moment. This is the biggest football star I've ever seen. So I'm going to hold it aloft like so many of the great footballers in the past have. And I'm going to ask the team, because I need my moment, guys, I'm going to ask you to play that anthem for me as I thank Clinton. I'm going to ask you to play it as though I've scored a 90th minute winner, Champions League final, extra time stuff, a comeback win, and I, as the captain with the armband, have been tasked with lifting this trophy, the UEFA Champions League Trophy. So, Clinton, I'm going to do this.
Can I take a photograph?
Please do. And I'm going to ask my team. Thank goodness this is not the World Cup trophy. We're not allowed to touch the World Cup trophy, but this one, we can.